Destiny is all. Peace is settled with the country nearly united. Only Lord Uhtred of Bebbanburg, ruling over Northumbria, is yet to pledge his land to the throne. But when King Edward dies, the peace is threatened as his two potential heirs battle to claim the crown. And when the life Uhtred has known is threatened, he must decide where his loyalties lie, with the king or with his homeland. So if you're into Munchies, I have one to review, so stay tuned to the end of this if you care about snacks. Alright, so this is the final chapter in The Last Kingdom, a Viking series that has had 5 seasons on Netflix. Now, I was very late to the party, but I watched the entire show last year and absolutely fell in love with it. When the 5th and the final season came, it was brutal and awesome, but it hadn't completely wrapped up the story of Uhtred and his desire to see a united kingdom. Now, this movie serves as that final chapter, giving us a lot of closure to the tale. Now, if you've not seen any of the Last Kingdom series, this isn't going to be the place to start. The beginning of the movie, it really requires you to know all that's happened before, and there is a lot. You don't have to have every single storyline fresh in your mind, but knowing the players and what transpired at the end of the series will allow an easier transition into the movie. And for those that really like the action of the series, there are some really exciting moments that are captured. But it's the final battle that makes this just an epic watch. There is a tremendous fight that is chaotic, nerve-wracking, and it's utterly brutal. The camera literally puts us right into the melee. I mean, at one point, we're watching this character drag themselves over dead bodies as they try to escape being crushed by those that are fighting above them. Now, it's harrowing and it's filled with energy, and there were multiple times that I was making noises aloud as just the swords or the arrows would pierce various body parts. And I love, too, that this sequence, it's not a quick over and done moment. The battle, it's a bit exhausting to watch. And I totally mean that in a great way. The emotion, it sucked me in, and I was constantly in fear for some of my favorite characters. And speaking of those, I was so happy that some of my favorites returned for this movie. Now, I'm not going to tell you their outcomes, especially because we do know that the show, it's not afraid to kill off beloved characters. But if you're a fan of Finan, Sihtric, or even Father Pirlig, and of course, there's Uhtred, they are front and center for a good portion of this. Now, something I think the series did really well is to create a storyline and narrative that is captivating and complex, and that's also what the movie accomplishes. There are a lot of moving parts, and while some of them do feel a little rushed or maybe even convenient, the majority of the plot points help to create anxious scenarios that feel explosive and full of peril. Now, one of my small nitpicks with the series that also makes its way into the film is that Uhtred often goes against common sense and ends up putting himself or even others in harm's way, even if it is mild. Now, I like that these actions make me question if he's doing these because he truly believes in his cause, or if he might be just narcissistic and thinks he can do it all by himself. The small amount of internal conflict that I face makes his character all the more intriguing and fun to watch. Something I've loved about the show, and also about this particular story, is that it's filled with scheming, where just about everybody is sketchy when it comes to trustworthiness. Now, we never really know if we can trust what a person says or not, which then leads to exciting altercations and usually a lot of bloodshed. Now, I mentioned how the filming during the epic battles was awesome, but it's excellent most of the way through the entire movie. I loved how characters are captured, especially in the midst of the action. There are times where we'll see a character slowly walking through a scene as just the chaos erupts around them. And the focus, it never breaks from the character, creating almost a sense of invincibility through confidence. Now, the color palettes also help to showcase the cold temperatures of the settings, and these scenes are typically shaded with blues and grayish greens, and you can just feel the chill in the air. Now, the story wouldn't be complete without having a confidant or an advisor who's also a bit sketchy. And in this one, we certainly see one at work. Now, I think his arc is pretty predictable, but he still is able to create strong emotions based on his actions. I love how this story wraps up. There are very emotional moments, and they actually feel earned, especially for fans of the show who have watched the character progressions from the start to finish. And I'm so glad that fans get a conclusion, and it's one that answers the important questions and also creates a resolution that's very fitting and satisfying. And while the story of the Seven Kings might be a little rushed in how they all come about, at least Uhtred's narrative, it's not rushed. It feels complete. But not only does Uhtred's story feel complete, the story of England, at least the one that the series has set out to tell, it comes to a close in a fairly accurate way. Now, all you history nerds out there, don't hear me say that this show is totally historically accurate. I'm just saying that the history does line up with the end of the movie. And honestly, I didn't watch this show, nor did I get sucked into it because it was or wasn't historically accurate. I was engaged with complex and rich characters who were often very flawed and enjoyed watching them grow from their experiences. The drama is high, especially when treachery is introduced, and that's pretty often. And then the ensuing battles are very satisfying with their awesome choreography, immersive cinematography, and the camera work. And then, of course, the outright carnage that's showcased. The movie goes out on a high note, and it caps off the series in a way that it and fans deserve. So overall, The Last Kingdom, Seven Kings Must Die is a fitting end to the epic series. Creative camera work and immersive battle choreography are complemented by charismatic and devious characters, all topped off by a gripping narrative. If you're a fan of medieval settings and bloody wars, Seven Kings Must Die delivers it all, along with a lead worthy of rooting for and a storyline that will keep you strapped to your seat. There are some predictable portions to the plot, as well as some conveniences that are introduced, but the movie as a whole manages to be emotional, energetic, and brutal, which leads to a climax worthy of a kingdom. There's sex, some nudity, some profanity, and then an absolute ton of brutal violence. I give The Last Kingdom, Seven Kings Must Die, 4.5 out of 5 couches. So are you a fan of this show? Who's your favorite character? Now, personally, I really liked Hild, but I think my overall favorite is Finan. Let me know yours, though, in the comments below. All right, so if you are a fan of the Munchies, I got something new, and I think what seems to be kind of a bit of a trend with me. My guess is that this is going to end up being diabetes in a can. If you can't see it, it is Pepsi Peeps flavored. Now, you will notice that it is a small 7.5 fluid ounce can, so it is tinier. But it is Peep flavored. It's artificial marshmallow flavored cola. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm not a big fan of marshmallows, but I do like Pepsi. I also like cherry Coke, and I also really, really like vanilla Coke. Vanilla Pepsi, not so much. So anyway, but Crystal Pepsi, which has nothing to do with anything. Oh my gosh, I would kill somebody for that. I loved that when that came out. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. I have not tried this at all. We'll see what this tastes like. Get some good AMSR. I don't know what that abbreviation even stands for, so whatever. Some sound effects. Ooh. I don't know if the bubbles are coming through. Okay, let's see. Oh, what? That didn't smell right. It's vanilla's not the right thing. I don't even know how to describe that. It's sweet, maybe a little pungent. I guess maybe like a peep almost. It's there. Bottoms up. Well, that's rather revolting. What? Okay. There is an aftertaste that tastes like you've had a peep in your mouth. There is a rush of flavor that is kind of that vanilla-y, definite marshmallow, like fake marshmallow taste to it. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this at all. It's it doesn't taste like Pepsi. We'll just go with that. Okay, that's all I can say about this. It's Pepsi Peeps flavor. It's limited edition. It's 2023 limited edition. I don't know if you can still get it. It is after Easter, at least here in the U.S. I don't know. Do they celebrate Easter all over the place? I don't know. I don't know what the dates are. Doesn't really matter. If you find this in your store, if you're adventurous, if you just like to have diabetes, maybe give this a whirl. We got ours at Sam's Club, so that meant we got 3 10-packs. So we have 30 cans of this. Now, they are little, but there's still 30 of them. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, cheers. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me. I'll just finish it because I don't know. I like punishment myself. I don't know. No, it doesn't get any better. It's, well, actually, it does. Oh, no, it's aftertaste.